welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. Can you see this cute Halloween quilt behind me? It's called Hocus Pocus and it's by the Pattern Basket. And I am going to link the pattern in my comments below so you can go out and buy this adorable pattern and make this. I'm going to teach a couple of skills today when you make this pattern. Let's zoom in and look at it. So I want you to notice there's little corners here. These are called snowball corners, and the whole quilt is made with rectangles and squares, including the stars. Now this one was made by my girlfriend, and I'm making one for myself. But I'm going to talk about the skills it takes to put this together and some tools that will help you get it together. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some tools that you can use that will help you make these cool little snowball corners and pointy stars and everything. So let's get started. I want to talk about rulers and cutting fabric here. This is a 6 by 24 inch ruler, and it's Omni Grids or Creative Grids. It's a very good ruler. It has little specks on the back, and it allows you to grip the fabric a little bit, but it really does slip. Some rulers have got a lip edge on them like this, and you just take it and slip it over the edge of your mat, and you're able to get a really good grip, and it's going to hold. This is a long ruler. It goes out to 36 inches, and I use this one when I'm cutting bolt fabric, etc. And they're really great rulers. I use them a lot. However, I just got this new ruler. My bestie gave it to me for my birthday, and it's Quilters Select brand, and it has a non-slip coating on it. So I think that's why it's yellow. It's the coating, I don't know, but it is just incredible. This is called a Gypsy Gripper, and the Gypsy Gripper is a handle for your ruler. And I'm going to do it today. I'm going to use it. I'm going to have the best of both worlds. This non-slip ruler plus this handle. So you just push down on the suction cups and clip them shut like that. And look at this. You have a handle for your ruler, which is very convenient. Okay, now let's cut some fabric. When you're cutting fabric, you always want to measure twice and cut once. Or in my case, sometimes I measure 5 or 6 times. Because once you lay your little rotary cutters to them, it's all she wrote. It's cut. And the best tool you can have next to a good ruler and a good self-heating mat is a new blade on your rotary cutter. I try and keep blades as new as I can, and it really makes a huge difference. So let me show you a couple of tips about cutting fabric. So this is my background fabric for my quilt. So many times when you buy fabric, you're not going to be able to line the edge straight up with your line because it's crooked. So the first thing you're going to want to do is line your fabric up with the folded edge up here. And you're going to want to take this piece off to square it up. That's going to give you a nice square edge to work with. And then I want to show you another technique that I learned. And notice I'm using my Creative Grids ruler, but you may not be able to go out and buy a Quilter Select ruler that's non-stick. Mine was a gift. So let me show you what I was taught. It's the pinky method. So I'm laying my hand on my ruler to hold it steady. And this pinky finger, I'm going to pick it up here. I'm laying it on the edge. See the outside edge of the ruler? And it's holding it just a little bit. So I'm going to cut halfway here and then stop, holding my thing still, and I'm sliding my hand up the ruler without moving anything and putting my pinky finger on the outside of the edge, and that holds my ruler stable. So I put my pinky finger on the outside right here of the ruler, holding it. So this is called a width of fabric cut, and then you cut it into smaller sections to use in your quilt. and that is called a subcut. You can use your large rulers. I like to use my little 12-inch ruler, but that's it. There's not a lot of secrets to cutting fabric for this quilt. There's two options here. You can use the lines on the ruler to cut your fabric, or you can use the lines on the mat. Either way, it doesn't matter. I use the lines on my mat. So I'm going to need a couple of strips here for my backing, and let's just make sure you can see. I have my fabric lined up on my line of the cutting mat, and I want to cut 3 1.5-inch strips. So what I'm going to do is lay my ruler at the 1.5-inch line here and here. And this ruler is so good and sticky that you have to pick it up and move it. See how slick that is? You can't slide it. I've always been a ruler slider. This one does not slide very well. Let me show you on my other ruler. This is a good one to use because you can slide it along the top. If you're a little bit of a lazy cutter and don't want to lift it up, you can do that. But the key here is the really sharp blade. Now we're going to do a little subcutting. Let's get my fabric out of the way. Oh, by the way, speaking of fabric, I am using Joanna Figueroa's All Hallows Eve fabric. And you know, it was so popular, it was reprinted a second time. You can get it at almost any quilt shop or online, but All Hallows Eve is just darling with this pattern. So just let me show you how I subcut. And I like to line everything up on the mat so I can get the most cut out of one swipe of the ruler. I could actually use my big one, but I love my little one. Isn't that just slick? So what I'm cutting now are the little snowball corners that go, I call them corners. We're going to snowball them on the corner of every one of the pumpkins, and that's going to give them the rounded edge. I'm not the richest quilter out there, and blades are expensive, but this is something you should not skimp on. But keep sharp blades in your rotary cutters. It will protect your mat. It will give you better cuts. And it's going to protect your wrist because you're not going to have to be pushing as much. Now let's move on. I have another tool that I am really excited to share with you. It's called the angler. Okay, I have a row of pumpkins. They're square, notice that, all ready to go. And here are my little corners, and we'll keep those there. And the pattern tells you that you want to draw a line on the wrong side of one of your snowballs. You want to draw a line from here to here. And I've done that in the past. I've shown you how to do it. But I'm going to use a tool today that you're going to love, and it's called the angler. Now here is the package it comes in, little bag, and this is going to save you half the time that you make snowballs or half square triangles. And this is what it looks like. It's a piece of hard plastic, and you cut out the center part right here. It has lines on it. You cut this out because that goes over your sewing machine. And something else I'm going to use, if you don't have in your sewing room that you probably ought to get, is washi tape. And I just have 2 rolls of washi tape. Well, I've got a big box of it because it's kind of fun stuff, but I've got my donuts and my tickets. So let me show you how I use this angler. This line right here in the center, I line this up with the lines on my sewing machine. So I want that to go right in the center where the needle is. And I'm not going to tape it in the front because I want to be able to lift up my bobbin. So this is the corner right here and back here where we've cut it out. And this line is the little line on my sewing machine that it's lined up perfectly. So I have this center line of the angler lined up with my needle, and these two lines on the side that are a 1/4 inch away are like both right in between my presser foot. Then I'm going to just tape it down. So I have this washi tape on it, and the reason washi tape is so cool because you can peel and stick. It doesn't leave glue residue on your sewing machine. So it's a really cool tape. I'm gonna stick it down on both sides so this is stable because I want my angler to be stable. I think 2 tickets is about the right length. When I want to go pick up to change my bobbin, I can lift up the angler and access my bobbin right here. That's why I didn't tape it down in the front. So washi tape and an angler, and I will link that in my comments below so you can also get yourself one. So we're going to put this on the corner right here, right on the black corner, like so. And I'm going to want to sew it from here to here. And to do that, I can put this right in my sewing machine, and the needle is right down on it's angled right on there. The seat is going to start there, and this center line I'm following to here, to the end. Perfect. It's so slick. Just to lay your squares right on top and use that angler to snowball these corners. Such an incredible tool. If you've ever done any Elizabeth Hartman or Lori Holt patterns, there's a ton of snowballs. If you do it on all 4 corners of a square, it's the snowball block. So you will hear quilters say, yeah, I'm just going to snowball the corners. This is what they're talking about. When I'm sewing, I keep my eye on the bottom. So when I'm sewing this snowball, I start here and I keep my eye right here because that keeps me lined up with the center line on my block. Let me show you how easy that is now. I'm just going to clip a few threads, and I'm going to finger press because I don't want to get up to the machine, but I'm just going to cut that corner right off about a 1/4 inch. It goes in my garbage, and then you have your option of pressing it open or pressing both seams open like this, or pressing it over. This one I'm going to press open. It's a little less bulk. So I'll cut one more right off, following at a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to press this corner open as well. Look at that. It's looking more like that pumpkin, isn't it? Isn't that fun? It's really such a fun pattern to do. You're going to enjoy making this pattern, so I hope you rush out and buy it. So I'm going to snowball the rest of this stack because this is one complete row. So continue that way until all of your pumpkins are snowballed. I'm at my ironing table, and I am going to flip this over and press open my seams on this block. I can't tell you how important pressing is when you make quilts. Press, 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 press. Let's move on. So I'm at my design wall. Again, my design wall quilt. I love it so I can put things down. And I wanted to lay out the top row before I sew it. But first I wanted to show you that I went ahead and made the little stem units, and I made the little star units. So let's put it up on the design wall and see how it looks. See, we want to put a large pumpkin, and its stem is this gray stem. And then next is a small gray. Don't you just love this fabric? You know, it truly is fabric that makes a quilt. And this little small gray one has a black stem, and it has a star above it. So the stars are above all of the small ones in the pattern, but you can see that from looking at the quilt. And next is the medium black pumpkin with an orange stem. And last but not least, another little small pumpkin with a gray stem, and it has another star unit. I have my pumpkin, or my first row, laid out, and I'm going to go ahead and follow the pattern to cut pieces in here so I'll have a complete row. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but my girlfriend did hers with a white on white, and mine has got the print that goes with the fabric, the All Hallows Eve fabric. And I kind of like that. It's a little warmer look. So, you know, putting a quilt together is like doing a jigsaw puzzle for me. And if you work on one piece the same over and over, you're going to get it right. And then work on the second piece. So what I did was I sewed all of my small pumpkins, then all of my medium pumpkins, then all of my large pumpkins, then onto the stems and the star units. So I have my units and I can put them together and be confident that I've got it all together right. So my units are all sewn together, and I'm going to stitch my 5 pumpkin units, making sure that I spend an extra minute matching this seam. I want those snowball corners to line up really good. So I'm just going to sew my pumpkin units together. Can I say it now? Ta-da! Let's go to the ironing table. I'm at the ironing table, and I'm just going to quickly press these seams open, then turn it over, and I will have one row completed. I can't wait. Ta-da! Let's go put it on the design wall. Well, my row is completely done. I'm so excited to finish this quilt. I'm not going to finish it in this video, but I will finish it by Halloween and definitely show you the finished project. I just want you to remember everything I talked about. I'm going to link the pattern, the angler tool in my comments below, so you can check them out, see if you'd like to purchase one to make your quilting easier and faster. Thanks for being with me today. See you next week. And if you like what you see, I'd love a subscribe, a thumbs up, or tell your friends about it. Let's have a party. I love a party. Happy Halloween. Bye.